All right, y'all. Welcome back. Kind of like a random stream. I want to do like this watch party and talk about Oklahoma's defense because they are good. And this is one of those weeks I don't think that we can fit everything into like the videos that we put out Monday through Friday, So we might have to do some extra stuff so that we can talk more about who we're playing. Tennessee's offense has done some really good things. And won a game last week, about 22 points. The offense was a big part of that. I really don't want to talk too much about the defense today. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I know that there's a lot of negative thoughts, or maybe I don't know how much it actually is, but the ones that I see tend to lean more negative. So if you are a more maybe like positive Vol fan, if you are maybe more like optimistic, if it's not every little thing is going to set you over the edge and you have to just spew negativity everywhere that you go, I would love to hear from you. Like those are the chats that I want to get to because you know what, man, like it's not just Tennessee fans. I know that there's players that watch this channel. I know that there's family of players that watch this channel, and people don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like we are trying to get ready for a game, for a big game. Nobody wants to hear all that. Like, I mean, yeah, there's going to be concerns with every team. So I just want to say that if you have something positive to say about Tennessee, we would love to hear from you. I know that most of the people that think that way probably aren't going to be overly vocal and all that, but this is the week, man. Like I think from this point forward, this team really needs that. Some of the stuff that I've seen, even like with the media, like playing into that stuff, it's not. I don't see it ending positively. Not for anybody. It's not going to help. And look, I'm not saying everything's got to be great. If you have something to say that it maybe isn't perfect, you know what I'm saying? Well, hey, we need to do better here. That's perfectly fine. But if everything that you say is negative, I really don't even want to hear from you. I'm just going to be honest. I really don't. But with all that being said, y'all, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I will be chiming in to the chat. Let's see what this first one says. Love that, bro. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us because you're pretty much always here. Thank you for that. But we are going to go ahead and jump into it. Like I said, man, Oklahoma, they have such a good defense. We couldn't get to all of their like key players because they have so many guys that can play, especially up front. I didn't want to bore people just talking about the line of scrimmage stuff, but man, they got some dudes. Let me get to this next one here as well. This is another chat from Dylan saying he feels like Oklahoma's defense is only considered good because of how versatile they are. I think that Kiffin had a great game plan. Something else that I didn't touch on earlier today, but Kiffin came out, I think, leading up to their game versus Oklahoma, and he said, I think that these guys are still in signals. You know what I mean? He said, post game, he told Coach Freeze, maybe y'all should have changed up y'all's signals because it looks like they were sitting on everything that y'all was trying to do. And I also, and this might sound really crazy, it probably is crazy. I think that Lane Kiffin still, I think that he loves Tennessee. I do. I think that some of that was kind of like, hey, Coach Heupel, back versus South Carolina, or really like once every year, teams are stealing y'all signals. You might want to try to sweat. Like I kind of feel like he wasn't just. I think he was talking to maybe everybody, but I think he was maybe thinking about Tennessee. We have to change up our signals. That's going to be big because teams will steal your signals. I think that everyone should know that. The coaching staff should definitely know that. But switch stuff up. Like, don't just in football, the mindset is the offense should be so dominant that you can tell the defense what you're doing, and they have to be able to stop it. So but at the same time, man, this is like high stakes stuff. Small margin for errors. Let's not even chance it. I hope that we've changed up signals. We do have the like headsets and all of that, but we still like signal in, especially when we're going tempo. This is a game that we want to use some tempo. I don't think we have to live in tempo, which is what we've done over the course of the year. I think that's part of the reason that the offense has looked better. That also helped our defense out. Again, I don't really want to talk about the defense, but I did want to throw that out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. These are going to be, it's going to be like on a game-by-game basis, starting off with, I think, the most recent game. So Ole Miss is going to be first. It's just like their biggest plays, running, passing, versus Oklahoma's defense. I want to show you that there are some holes in their defense. Their defense is really good. Like, I'm not going to sit here and hold y'all. Defense is very good. But we'll always start off on the scoreboard copy. No end zone copies today. All right, so this one is a 2nd and 8. So the first thing, and some of this stuff, y'all, I haven't even seen. So we're all going to be watching this kind of like live, some of this stuff live. First time for me on some of these plays. But I want for y'all to chime in. What are y'all seeing? But on this first one, what I really like about Coach Kiffin is he knows how to dial things up. I really don't even know what this play is, but just the way that they're setting things up. Tennessee runs the same thing where we're tight here, got the tight end there, kind of spreading out there, but it's not super wide, And as far as what OU's doing, what do we say? 2nd and 8, 2nd and 6. They're showing looks like double mugs. Okay, everyone's playing off. So let's see what they do. They love the blitz, pre-snap movement, love that. That's their tight end motion and over. And they're showing a screen to the left side, and then, oh boy, they're going vertical down the field. So I like that these wide receivers switch. So like a switch concept, almost like a post here, and running things off vertical. This coverage, I don't know. It kind of looks like maybe it could be cover 6. This looks like maybe quarters up top, cover 2 down here possibly. Could also turn into 3. They do some real funky stuff. I can tell you all that. So look. Now you're starting to see this guy, he comes all the way over to the middle, and he's like on the hash. I don't know what this is. I really don't. Again, could be 6, but look how tight this window is, right? Very tight window, and we got to make tough catches. So I have seen that play previously, but wanted to point those things out. So this is the 3rd and 8. All right, so they're going 3 up top, 1 down at the bottom. They're showing, what is it, single mugs right there. And then, they're just playing off here. All right, so a lot of the same stuff that we've seen from our defense, they're doing it, but they just execute better. So up front, and I really should have put the end zone copies in here to show you what the front's doing. Pay attention to this front first. So stunts, blitzes, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least that they're bringing, might be 6. All right, so this is 6. So this is a stunt from the guy coming off of the edge, but he's going to loop back inside. There was a stunt up here. All right, but they pick up everything. And down the field, what's the coverage? So down the field, 1 high, this looks like cover 1. So that's man. That's another tight window. So you're going to see, is it this route? Might be right here where they run this smash or, corner route. Boom. Okay. That is not an easy pass. That's a long pass. It's got to be a very accurate pass, throwing it from the opposite hash. Obviously, throwing it to the field side where there's more field to be able to operate at. Boy, dangerous stuff. Okay. This is not, this is high level stuff. That Ole Miss is doing. So 2nd and 5 here. All right. Same formation that we saw to kind of start things off. Bunched up, really tight. Tennessee does a whole lot of this. They're still showing mugs. All right. Still playing off. Now looks like they're coming up just a little bit, but not really pressing. Overloading with the motion. Okay. They didn't really cover that too well, which is pretty interesting. They're showing screen there, but this is a freaking run. Let's see it again. So outside zone. Outside zone. I love the idea of running outside zone versus these guys. 5 is a freaking stud. Watch the way that they're blocking this. All right, so motion over. Boom. So they're moving out. So obviously they're showing a lot of pressure, but then they drop off. This is where you can get them at. All right, because they do so much with the stunts, with the blitzes, with the different looks, pre-snap, post-snap. Whole lot going on. But you can catch these guys. And I think always, anytime that you see double mugs, bro, run at that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's not 3rd and really long, run at that. If they want to do it on 2nd downs, I double dog dare them, bro. You can run straight at that. Even if everybody comes, you can run straight at that. It's pretty easy to know who to pick up. I want for them to keep on doing this. That's one of the weaknesses to running mugs. But you're seeing here, what is this coverage? What is this? It looks like it could be 3, but that ain't 3. You know what I mean? Like this is not. It's like 3 on half of the field. They do some funky stuff. All right. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. But I think that they makeshift stuff, and because they makeshift stuff, if you pick up all those blocks, great job blocking down the field, great job using speed, we can hit home runs, all right? We can most definitely do that. All right, so this one's going to be a 1st and 10. Let me check in on this chat, see if there's anything else that's come in so that we can get to that as well. All right, so we do have some more. All right, so Marshall, thank you so much for this, Marshall. I'm going to play this super chat for you, but thank you so much for being a member of this channel. All right, let's play this for you. Thank you, Marshall. All right, and so Marshall follows up by saying, "What's going on? What's up, bro? Made me last month. Oh, okay, Marshall. Yeah. Dope. Okay. Yeah. Hey, so this is a big weekend. We hate that team, for sure. And obviously, I'm not Like we don't really like real life hate them. It's just like it's right down the street. So I just want for people to know. I know people who play at Mill Creek and all that. So I do want to throw that out there. But okay, cool, man. Yeah. So I think that I saw you on the Georgia weekend, and I know that you was going up to that game, and it's one that we should have won. It's one that we definitely hurts bad losing that one because now we're in an absolute must-win situation. But thank you so much for that, bro. It's always good, seeing you and also hearing from you. So hopefully I will see you on Friday. I'm gonna be at that game. All right, so this is the 1st and 10. It's tied up 10-10. So Ole Miss going back to the same stuff again. Tennessee does a whole lot of this. Now you're gonna see that pre-snap motion. Okay, as far as what Oklahoma's doing, a lot of guys on this line of scrimmage. So they're sticking to like that even front, but this is really like a 5-man front. You got another guy playing up, and then you've got just a lot of folks close to the line of scrimmage. They just do a lot of funky stuff. They'll have linebackers playing at this depth, but then you got the safeties right behind them. It's just like they're, I guess, sitting on run, but then that safety goes out. I don't know what the coverage is. It looked like maybe it was man. But what is this play? So just a freaking sweep to the outside. I think that we can get to the outside on them, especially with certain offensive sets. So what are they doing here as far as the blocking? So they do Oklahoma's defense just does so much blitzing that they'll take themselves out of plays. Here they're trying to blitz. They're thinking, hey, this is an inside run. We got to get a seal here. All right, so great job there getting not really a full seal, but hold on and then use the speed, really get outside. Wide receiver is able to block down on the second level. Okay, boom. He's able to block down right there. So that gives us a little bit more time, a little bit more space. We don't do a whole lot of that, but I think that we need to start doing a lot more of that. All right, so this is 2nd and 15. So similar, it's like they keep on going to the same set, but now they spread it out. So now they want to try to spread some things out. Still got a running back there. Pre-snap, look, you're seeing it the blitz. They're showing the pressure. So they're going to drop off this defensive end, I think, or is it this? Yeah, so defensive end shows it, then comes off. Middle linebackers are definitely coming, but then you got a freaking quarterback on this draw. Draws hurt them because they blitz so much. Draws, screens, all that stuff's going to hurt them. If you have a quarterback who can do this, that's a huge plus. I think that we can replicate some of it, man. We just really got to try to get them pushed off and, push them off vertically. So this is a 3rd down. They're showing single mug, and they're going man coverage. Single mug, this looks like this is 0. You see him coming over? I think this is 0. There's no safety help over the top. You got the one-on-one up here, but they're playing underneath with like a little zone. So they do a lot of man zone concepts. Middle zone right there. That's a slant, really tight window. Again, wish that I would have put in the end zone copy to show you how tight that window actually is. But the biggest thing is that this line doing a great job in giving the quarterback the opportunities to be able to throw the football down the field. So here, occupy in the flats. Lane Kiffin loves to do this. Occupy those flats, get them to bite up, and then we got true singles down here. Could have also hit this. This isn't really open. Everything else is covered up. Again, super, super tight window. But, yeah, so this is going to be one of those games that we need excellent play calling. All right, 3rd and 10 on this next one. Excellent play calling, but we also need excellent execution. 3-by-1, spreading them out really thin, cover 0, double mugs, right? So now they're dropping off, and this is some sort of a zone. Couldn't tell you exactly what this is. I have no idea what this is. They go to like man there with a zone here, zone there, some sort of weird zone here. I don't even know what this is. I couldn't quite tell you what this is, but this is the tricky part. This is where we got to figure things out. But as far as the routes, wow, it really looks like down the field. This one could have been open. That could have been open, right? So pressure starting to get there. Quarterback uses his legs. Very fast, very mobile. Let me take it all the way back to the start. Let me see who all comes on this. So they're bringing only 4, right? So they're showing 7. They only bring 4. 3 are going to drop off. Yeah, so he doesn't like what he's seeing down the field. Playmakers got to make plays. This is definitely one of those games. So you can find success, but they don't make it easy for you. 2nd and 13 here. All right. So now they're showing a one-high look. We got now 3-by-1, 3 up top, 1 at the bottom. They're pressing down here. This still looks like zone to me. Is it actually zone though? Yeah, it is. Don't know what it is. I mean, could be quarters. Could be quarters, and maybe they play their quarters really tight. You know, maybe or I'm sorry, not quarters, but cover 6. But on this side where there is quarters, maybe they're playing these guys really tight. All right, which could be, that should mean 6. Look, he's winning there. That's 6. So I think that's positive. Over here looks like cover 2. Got a safety over the top, got a corner in these flats. All right. And maybe this is one of those defenses where, hey, they're going to do this sprint out. They're really only operating on half of this, on this half of the field. So they move the whole defensive structure, like all the zones, moves over there. But this is man. Maybe just because they're playing their zone so well. But that looks like that's man. I mean, he comes up, he's playing man-to-man coverage. This is that's the quarterback. So he might be spying. This kind of looks like this is man. All right, this turns into man. But then he's playing zone. So crazy stuff, super tight window. Let me go back and play at full speed so that y'all can see it all the way through. But very, very tight window that he's throwing, on the run to his right, which it should be a little bit of an easier pass. But great catch, make something happen after the catch. Yeah, they do not make it easy. So let me check back into the chat because I can't see what's going on with the chat unless I look over here. But I want to see if we can. Stay on top of this. So Dylan. All right, Dylan is saying that we're going to have to get Joey mobile in this game for sure. And not as much as Trinidad did, but we can't have Joey being a statue. I think that's a big fact, dog. Like, there's no way that he can stand back there, I don't think, for the whole game. There's some things that we talked about in the first video that we put out where Tennessee likes to do like that pull pass pro. It's tough because it's typically guards that are pulling over, and they're leaving that A-gap unblocked. I don't think our guys playing on the inside are not like the quickest. This defense, they're really quick, like off the snap. I've seen it a lot of times where teams are trying to run that and they're just blowing it up. So I know it's something that the coaching staff is definitely going to be looking at. But if we move him out, right, just like what you said there, if we move him out, then we'll have a much better opportunity for him to be able to operate down the field. Now, they can do some things like what they just showed where they're really moving their whole coverage because they see it. They see, okay, he's sprinting out. So now the coverage, everything moves over. Also, this is something on the, previous play? Let me go back because it's something that I was thinking about. Let me go back so I can show you what I'm talking about. I think that we could, and I've seen us do this, roll out here, and boy, I mean, it's on third downs. It might be tough to do, but man, he is open. That's a long pass, but he is going to be open. So we can do little things like that we haven't shown so much on film this season, even though I have seen it previously with Coach Heupel. Okay, he should have a really good game plan. All right, so let me get to some more of this stuff. Let me actually pause this real quick. So I'm going to get to some more of the chats. So this one is from Dog. Number 23 on defense is a bum. He's not trying to. So I don't know that he's a bum, but I'm going to tell you he's short. He's only 5'9". So I don't think we've seen a 5'9" secondary player this whole season. We got to go at that, but I think that he's actually pretty good. I mean, he's out there for a reason. Typically, the guys that are shorter, and especially if they're starting, it means that they got some skills. I haven't seen him getting beat too much, honestly speaking. But, I mean, what is he going to do? If it's him versus Brazel, which we can scheme that up, man, let's get him isolated. One-on-one versus number 23. Jump ball him. He might have a really good vert, but he ain't out jumping Brazel. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he's doing that. So I would like to see that matchup for sure. All right, so this next one is saying that we're winning, that we will win this weekend. Thank you for that. Okay, yeah, so hey, you going with that type of energy, that's going to help us to win. We need people with the good positive energy to keep the fan base engaged because football is a give and take. They're going to make some plays, we're going to make some plays, but we cannot get down. We got to just keep on putting on more steam. So I'm hoping that that's the mindset from the entire crowd because we need for them to be better than they've been so far this season. Okay. All right. Sorry, bro. Yeah, so Boo, I'm not going to call Boo a bum because Boo is talented. He hasn't played well. He hasn't played well really this whole season, especially in coverage. But neither one of our star players have. And this is, again, we're not really talking about defense. I don't want to spend too much time on defense because we're going to be talking about that on Tuesday. But I don't know if Colton Hood's going to be able to go. And P and I were talking about it last night. If Colton Hood can't go at corner, who do you put out there? because I don't think that it can be number 0. And again, I don't mean to single people out and take shots or nothing, but I'm just keeping it real. I think that maybe J-Mac, because J-Mac is a much better outside corner than he is playing inside corner. Maybe let J-Mac go there, and then Boo has to start at star. Now, I think part of the reason, and this is just me speculating, that Boo hasn't looked as good at stars because whenever he comes in, teams instantly target him. But as the game wears on, he does get better. I think that he might be better suited if he's locked in and understands, hey, I'm going to be starting this week. That's just me. I could be totally wrong on that. But, and I don't mean to throw something out there about Colton Hood because I don't know. I'm just saying he was hurt last game. The question was asked to Coach Heupel. He said, well, y'all will see on Wednesday. Looked like he was visibly frustrated. I think he was also getting pissed off about the questions on Tennessee's defense. I'm happy to see that because hopefully the media will stop asking that. Some of the people who have message boards and stuff need to stop pushing that narrative out there and making the fan base get even more riled up. I don't know what that's going to help. I don't know what that help. That does not help anything. We're in the middle of a season. So I just think everybody needs to be locked in on a much higher level. I know that the media, they have a job to do. But, bro, damn the job we're trying to win. Like, I'm doing this video now. Listen, I'm trying to win. Like, everything that I'm doing is about winning. That's got to be the bottom line. But the whole point on Colton Hood, I don't know if he's going to be able to go. He might be limited. He might be full, 100%. He might not go. I don't know. That could be a problem. But I think that if we let J-Mac play at corner, it could be okay. All right, it could be okay. All right, so this next one from Oreo Puppy Dog saying to bench Boo, let him go to Colorado. I think he's probably leaving after this year anyway. But, while he's here, if he's on the team, if he can help us win, I think that the best thing for us to do is help him to help us win. Like, help him feel comfortable and confident enough that he plays at his highest level. Because if we get a high level of play from Boo, his defense takes a big step forward. All right, so this one right here from Dawg saying that Tennessee is just injured on defense, and I don't think there's a Tim Banks issue. Yeah, so again, I don't want to spend too much time on defense, but I do think that that's a good point. And there's so many things, and even Coach Heupel said it, man. Look, like we need for people to execute. That's the biggest problem. Like you can call anything. I mean, look at what Oklahoma's doing. This is crazy stuff that they're running, but they have the personnel to be able to run it, and they're executing it. It's more about the execution. They have a lot more older players than what Tennessee does, so they understand things a little bit better. Like they're more ready for it. We're playing a whole bunch of young players still. Are there some things that maybe we could do differently? Sure, but I just think that to sit here and blame one person for such a team game when there's so many players that have to go out there, they have to play, there's so many different duties and jobs that they have to execute on, and then there's so many individual coaches for each group on this team. Like it's tough to say, man, it's just one person who doesn't know what he's doing. I don't see that. Now, if we went out there and it was like, dog, none of this is fundamentally sound, then hell yeah, it's time for folks to kick some rocks. But if the play calls are still fundamentally sound and you're saying, okay, well, there still is a lack of execution, you got to at least give them the chance to, hey, let's try to drive these points home and let's execute better. And even Don Bailey talked about it. Look, we've tackled terrible for the past couple of games. And, the coaches have been on us about it. At some point, the players have got to execute. And there's no fault being given anywhere outside of Tim Banks. Our pass rush has been terrible for the past couple of weeks. No one's going to talk about Coach Garner or Coach Chop because they say, well, these guys can coach. So if we're not getting sacks, if something's off, that's on the players. But why don't we have the same benefit of, why don't we get the same benefit to Coach Banks? That's kind of like where I'm at. But anyway, let's go on to this next one. All right, Santa, I think that we will still hit a couple of deep balls early. Yeah, it would be nice if we can manufacture that because that'll get their defense to kind of back off some. All right, so on this next play, Ole Miss is going 3-by-1, so they got 3 threats up here. Motioning now, 1 down there. The coverage looks like they're playing press up top. Looks like it could be cover 2-man, but the way that the safety is playing in the middle of the field is weird. All right, that is really weird, and then you got some help underneath here. This is maybe cover 2, but it's just like how they play stuff is just really weird. So Tennessee does some things where on this route, right, like we're going to talk about this slot player. He's going to run what looks like a dig, but sometimes we run some deep crossers, right? So deep crossers, they might bite up on this, but a deep crosser, and we also will do it where, hey, it turns into kind of like a wheel route. That's 6 points because he's not honoring this deep half of the field. The problem is you got to be able to hold up and give the quarterback enough time. Now, on this one, Ole Miss's offensive line does it. All right, so they're only bringing 4, but they block it. They pick it up very well. Give them all day. And they actually still throw that dig. So if you give Joey Aguilar time, we'll be able to find people down the field. All right, it won't just be Ole Miss. We got other games in here, too. I think the next one might be Texas. So I think we're getting more towards the end of Ole Miss. But Ole Miss had a lot of big plays versus this defense. So here, man, look, we got them in the real cover 2. This is cover 2 for sure. All right, so cover 2. Middle of the field is going to be wide open. And that's the thing. Get them out of the crazy looks. It turns into this like a normal defense. They've got some good players, but so does pretty much everybody in this conference. So when it turns more into like normal football, you can pick up the blocks and all that type of stuff, and that's what we want. So 3rd and 8. All right, 2x2. And they're showing what looks like cover 0, but then they flip it. So I don't know what the hell. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this looks like, I don't know. I don't know what this is. It looks like maybe it's a cover 2, but the safety goes to the flats here, and then the corner plays over the top. Cover 2 over here for sure. Just like weird stuff that they do. So what is this play? It's crazy. So quarterback draw. Love that. How many did they bring? I think only 4. They're showing the mugs. Yeah, so they're only bringing 4. You see the stunt, picking things up well. But this just keeps them honest. Like, try to keep them kind of like off balance. That's the whole point, all right? 1st and 10 on this one. It is 2x2. The tight end is inside right there. Okay, so he's in there blocking, so they're only sending out 3. Down the field, looks like that's a slot fade. Boom. Gorgeous. So now we got him playing cover 1, all right? So this is just straight up man coverage. Man coverage, 1 high. So boom. Oh, man, that was actually beautiful route. This is kind of like a double move, right? Watch him here. Slant and go. Killed him. Double moves can be a problem. Beautiful pass. Beautiful route. Beautiful execution. Tough to stop that. All right, so now we got him versus Texas. All right, so we all know that Texas, their offense hasn't been great. They do some funky stuff. It's not going to be very similar to what Tennessee does, but there's that formation, okay? Pretty much. It's a little bit different, but it's like the same concept in theory. Difference is this is that formation kind of in like 12 personnel versus, so you got 2 tight outs. You have 2 tight ends out here instead of 1 tight end with the 3 wide outs, okay? But what's the defense? You can see that they're worried about it. They've got their safeties playing really deep. Something else that I've noticed is that their safeties are quick to trigger versus the run. Very quick. Make people miss. I think this is outside zone. No, that's actually inside zone. So inside zone that they busted outside, out of the pistol. All right, inside zone. Great job blocking there. Could have also been like some man blocking. But, running backs have got to make some plays. Love to see that. But their safeties, they trigger quick versus the run. Great game for like some trick plays, maybe like a flea flick or something like that. Would love to see it. So funky looking defense. They're bringing a safety blitz. It's coming from way back. All right. And now the coverage down the field, cover 3. So this is cover 3, and Texas is spreading the field out. Nothing's there. Nothing was there to kind of start off, but Arch Manning does a good job of keeping things going. Throws it down the field on what is this, like a deep over? What is this guy doing? Okay, so he actually sit it down on like a little hook here. So sits it down on this hook, scramble drill. He's going to get behind the defense. They're not going to be great. If they're running 4-3, linebackers typically aren't great in coverage, but I would say that their guys are probably better than like average. But I mean, if you give anybody that much time, there's nothing that people can do to stop it. So this one's crazy. So this is a read option, obviously, right? You always have the threat of Arch Manning's legs, so they have to honor that backside. But it's really just like inside zone with the blocking here, okay? Or was this outside zone? Let me see it again. Might be outside zone. Yes, that looks more like outside zone, but, man, they just found one little crease, run through one tackle, because they play so many people up close to the line of scrimmage. If you can get to the second level, you can hit home runs, So I think that's also very, very positive, okay? I think that's very, very positive. So here, they got 2x2. Looks like that might be 11 personnel. What's the coverage? All right, so they're only bringing 3 here. They've got what looks like they at least have 1 spy. All right, so boom. This guy's spying. He might kind of be spying too, also playing like a little bit of a zone. And it looks like this is man. It looks like this is cover 2 man, okay? So cover 2 man. All right, buying some time. Where did that football go? Looks like he throws it. Oh, yeah, threw it there. Wow. That's a freaking dot, too. So watching it from the end zone copy, you could tell that was a really tight window, really good pass. But, yeah, I mean, anytime that anybody runs man, so many ways to beat that. If the pressure doesn't get there, somebody's open. That's just what it is. If the pressure doesn't get there, somebody's open. That's why people don't run a whole lot of man most of the time. Not in college. You don't see that too much. You got to have great personnel to be able to get that done. So 3x1 here, tight down at the bottom. This is also man. This is cover one. And they just dump it off to the flats, make some people miss some tackles. I mean, playmakers making plays. I think that we have guys who can replicate some of this stuff, right? I would say that Oklahoma's a pretty solid tackling team. They're definitely not terrible. But yeah, I mean, you always want to make people miss. You know, that makes it easy on the offensive coordinator. Hey, man, we can dump it off to our guys and then they can just go eat. So here, 4-3 is what this looks like. Okay, they're bringing it from the outside there. Thunder, boom, boom. Looks like this is, I don't know what the hell that maybe cover 3. All right, but they're running, what is that? Quarterback. Okay, yeah, so that's option. Option with some lead blockers. And I think that this is the run that actually sealed this game up. So that one was big. Now we're on to South Carolina. All right, and let me actually pause it here so that I can get back to the chat, see if anyone has chimed in and see what people have to say. All right. So this one saying that we have to get Bishop going in the run game as well. Yeah, I think that, dude, our running backs are going to be so big in this game. Not just running, but also blocking. That's going to be gigantic in this game. And then also, I think if they could be like a real threat to catch the football coming out of the backfield, man, that would be gorgeous for us. I think really, really gorgeous. And Dirty Higgins is saying that he hopes that the team has that little bit more to give Coach like they did last year. That's beautiful. Just hearing that. I feel like they're going to be ready. I think that our team is going to show up in a major, major way. I'm very much looking forward to it. This is a huge week, but let's talk about South Carolina and what they have going on. All right, and we will continue to get back into the chat. So South Carolina playing at home, it's totally different. I mean, they're going under center, freaking, what is this? Power I? Okay, so offset I, right? Pre-snap movement. Their offense really sucks. This is almost like a goal line defense that Oklahoma's playing, fullback dive, right up the middle. Same thing that we just talked about, man. If you can get past the first level, I would say probably 80% of the time you can do some good things. This is 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, totally different look here. This might actually be a dime defense, y'all. This could be a 3-2-6. I'm not quite sure on it. But, they are putting a whole lot of speed out here. I'm talking about OU's defense, okay? But we got 3x1, or what is this? No, that can't be 3x1. Oh, I'm sorry. This is empty. All right, so this is 3x2. Okay, 3x2 on this empty set. I told y'all empty is big. Now, you got to be able to pick things up. Sellers does a good job of this type of stuff. He does a good job of that. I don't think that they got the first down on that. But what is the blitz? So I think that this is 38. Heineke, fast guy, really good player. You see the stunt. They're only bringing 4. But this is not a very good offensive line either. Let me make sure that I point that out. What's the coverage? Looks like man. Sorry that this is freezing up on y'all. Take it back just a little bit more. All right, so yeah, I think that this is man coverage. All right, so man overload that one side with the blitz. Crazy how they're playing man from the safety depth. And they do a ton of this. Like, they'll have the safety playing man on a guy that's going to the flats. Now, I've seen that a lot. It might just work out that way, but that's just cover one. So, I mean, I don't know how much of that we'll be able to do, just because I don't know how much of that skill set Tennessee has, but this is 3rd and 17. So 3x1. And this looks like cover 2 man again. So cover 2 man, as we said, running back is going to chip here. Then he's going to come out late, dump it off to him. Things are run off down the field. Who is this that makes this play? Okay, so this safety, So they do a lot of very, like, unorthodox things. Some of it I'd actually like. This looks like this is cover 2 man. But this safety, I mean, there's no one really coming that's like a threat here. So he just comes down. But see, I think that the problem is if the route combinations are right, if you run this over, okay, he could be open unless this safety comes and gets him. And then you could just do this boom, boom. So almost like double post. Double post could beat it the way that they're playing that, okay? And not to go too deep into the weeds, but I did want to point that out. But yeah, this is why I talked about, hey, running backs, and dude, if you can do this type of stuff, that's even better. But yeah, you should be able to dump it off to him because a lot of times they're either blitzing or their linebackers, they'll send them in coverage way down the field, like way down the field. They probably won't try to spy us as much. So this is cover three seams. Cover three seams. And what is this? Maybe like some sort of a 20 personnel. So they've got two backs back here is what it looks like. Could be a wide receiver, maybe tight end, whatever back there too. But basically this is like 3-by-2 almost. It just based off of how you want to look at it. It could be 2-by-1 too. Just based off how you're looking at it. But this is cover three seams. So look, see how deep everybody is? Everyone's deep down the field. Obviously third and long. But the dump off stuff can be there. So what is Sellers doing? I mean, I think that he's overrated. I mean, why would you not throw that? You know what I'm saying? I don't even understand. Obviously, he gets a whole bunch of yards, but that was like of no consequence. This really doesn't even freaking count. This is like it's going into like a half or like end of the game. They're playing prevent defense. We could probably actually skip this one. But I mean, obviously, that just doesn't even matter because if they're playing like that, several things will be there. But this is a 1st and 10. We got 3-by-1, okay, and they're going to cover 2. So this is cover 2. Looks funky. Starts off with like a 1-high look, but it actually flips to 2. What are they doing here? Are they throwing it out? Oh, no. They're throwing a, what is this, like a wheel or like a rail? Oh, no. He just gets straight off the line of scrimmage. What are they doing on defense? This is weird. Okay, so he's biting on this. I guess he thinks that that's a screen. Not very disciplined. Whenever you're playing cover 2, you don't let things get outside of you. You try to push and force stuff back to the inside. But, I mean, like, they're doing so many funky things. I mean, there should be more holes than what we're seeing. But that's a really tough pass from the opposite hash. Kind of like a tighter window. So this is them versus Auburn. All right. Auburn going, boy, I mean, obviously very, very heavy. I don't know. That looks like that could have been 13 personnel. Just freaking beat them down the field. Looks like this is just a straight go. Straight go. Stupid defensive stuff. Looks like they're playing quarters here. So playing quarters, and the last thing that you ever want to do whenever you're playing quarters, most of the time, is not giving ground. Like we said, their safeties really want to be run first. They are run first in quarters, but dog, the middle of the field is going to be wide open. So you're almost playing cover 0 now. Like you're leaving him one-on-one. It's basically now cover 0 when you should have been dropping. So I hope that they do some of this dumb stuff versus us as well. But yeah, I mean, look, dude, if you got speed, you beat the guys off the line of scrimmage. Wasn't the best pass, but playmakers making plays. So some of the stuff that they do, as I've said several times, it can kind of hurt them. This is 3rd and 10. They're showing what looks like either quarters or maybe 0. Definitely not 0 because they're not flowing over. Or it could be 0 still. This safety could be on this back, but now he's backing off. So this turns into, sheesh, I mean, kind of like cover 3. It's like, so it might be like a cover 3 match, right? So cover 3, but this guy, he's going to carry this seam all the way up the field vertically, kind of like that. But here it should be open. Moving out to the right, and then he's just going to run that. But let's see, what are they doing up front? Up front, what do y'all see? Really wide down at the bottom. Really wide there. Stun up top. I think that they only brought, what is that, 3? So they only bring 3. That was a boneheaded move. I think you should always probably bring like at least 4 most of the time. But so that's kind of how that goes. Let me come back to the chat, make sure that I'm not getting too far behind on it. All right, so where are we at now? This one is from Matt. What's going on, Matt? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so this is a huge game coming up. Yeah, man, for sure. Hey, look, thank you for joining us as always. Thank you for chiming in with us. All right, so wow, so you're thinking 45-21 Vols. I love that. That would be huge if we could win like that. I do want to make sure that I caution everybody that all I'm showing y'all are the big plays. Like these are every single one of the big plays that the Power 4 offenses have had versus this defense. All right, it's every single one of them. So I don't want for y'all to feel like, oh man, like there's just so many holes, because that's really not the case. Most of the time it doesn't look anything like this, but I do want for y'all to see that there can be some holes. So here they're going, man, this is the play. All right, so P, this is number 5 here, right? This is number 5 guarding this slot wide receiver. So P and I, we were talking about 5 last night. I said, dude, they got somebody that's 6'5", 242 that they drop in the coverage a lot. He could play man. He could do so many different things. He's like a defensive end size. And P was like, oh, yeah, that's crazy, because, like, we're real big into, hey, how many big, fast, physical guys can you find? I think that's just football, period. But P was like, yeah, I was watching him versus Auburn, and I saw that he gave up a pass and didn't look very good after the fact. Which, watch him here, okay? So watch him on this dig. Watch him there. Okay, this guy, that's 6'5", 242. You know what I'm saying? Covering a slot wide receiver. I said, I mean, look, that's just as good. I mean, I wish that our safeties could could play man-to-man coverage like that, on a consistent basis. That's pretty freaking. That looks pretty good to me. But obviously he doesn't finish his tackle, so P is a lot more critical than I am. Like if y'all think I'm tough, he's a lot more critical. But yeah, I did just want to show y'all that they have guys like that. Like they got some real dudes. So here, what they're doing, this is a one-high look. All right, so this is just cover 3, straight up cover 3. And what? This must be a double move up top for this cornerback to get beat like that. Yep, double move, stop and go. And we can replicate that. As far as the pressure, what are they bringing? Looks like 5 to 6. All right, so y'all see even front. He's coming. Oh, boy. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Oh, no, so only 5 because this defensive end is going to drop off. But watch this, though. So, like, linebackers playing at this depth, then you've got, like, a safety that's playing right behind them. Really weird. I think that can throw off some of the blocking schemes. But they pick it up well. Auburn picked it up well on that play. Obviously, they gave up 10 sacks in this game, so they weren't always doing that. But they just want to, like, show y'all that. Or, it's kind of like break that part of it down. This one is a 2nd and 10. And you know what? We'll just kind of, like, get through Auburn. And I think that we could probably wrap it up. So here, they're bringing 1, 2, 3. Bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. It looks like they're playing 0 back here or quarters. All right. So actually, this flips to cover 1, or maybe cover 3. It's one of them. But this is a one-high look. They're just running like underneath, kind of like hitches there. And what's going to happen on this play? Because it looks like the pressure actually gets there. Okay, yeah. So he just got that one off. So sometimes you're going to have to do that too. Like the hot routes and all that, that's going to have to be on point. All right, 2nd and long on this. They're showing a one-high look. Now they're showing 2. I don't know what the hell that is. So this is Tampa 2. So Tampa 2 looks crazy, right? You got a deep half here. You got a deep half there. You got kind of like the deep, shallow middle is what I'll call this. And then you've got the flats. He's coming from the inside playing the flats. This guy's wide open. He's playing flats there. So they dump it off to the middle. So anytime that you run Tampa 2, this should be open, especially if you run it weird like this. That should be open. So like we talked about with Joey, he's got to be able to scan the field now. Okay, he has got to scan the freaking field. Don't get locked in pre-snap because their pre-snap looks can definitely throw you off. So one-high look here. Looks like 2x1 outside zone, maybe even power. What is this? Oh, okay. So yeah, so this is a pull lead. So pull lead, get to the edge, get downhill. Love that. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And this one is a 1st and 10. I think that there's only like a couple more. This might be the last one from Auburn. So now they're going with pretty tight set. My goodness, look at this. Trying to go back here. Cornerback blitz. There's no way, dude. There's no way that you would blitz your corner in this situation. This is insane. So you're gonna blitz your corner from this wide out, and then this safety has got to come over and cover this. Bro, if you really can't run a slant because he's coming to the inside. But any sort of like a underneath whatever, make the catch. You got one guy to beat. My goodness. I mean, like they do some crazy stuff, but it's just a run straight up the middle, right? So that's inside zone. Okay, boom, run through the tackles. Like we said, man, you get past the first level, you can run for days. And I think that was the last one. Nope, maybe this one is. So this is a 4th and long. Showing a one-high look. Looks like it could be cover 1. He's going with the motion. Okay, could be cover 1. They're showing a single mug here. Press tight to the outside and wide. Stunts are coming. Something's coming. All right. Step up into the pocket. What are they playing downfield here? Yep. So this is man. This is cover 1, and then the quarterback just uses his freaking legs. If you're gonna do, like, pay attention to how if you're gonna leave the middle of the field this open when you only have one guy there, yeah, you like draws and all that should most definitely work, and then he just vacates out. Looks like they're kind of spying there. Maybe he's playing like a middle zone, and then he has to move out. Yeah, so he was actually playing man there. Yeah, so they do so many funky things that if we scheme it up right, man, we can catch them slipping. We can definitely catch them slipping. All right, so now it's going on to the Michigan game. All right, and we're gonna stop it there. We'll just stop it there because we've been rolling for a good minute. Let me get to these chats. So this one is from Slick420. He said that the fans have a chance. Yeah, for sure. That this game, we finally got a night game in Neyland and it's dark mode. Yeah, I think that the fans have to step up. Like, don't even go to the game if you're not willing to just like sell out for 60 minutes, man. I'm talking about which you don't have to really even do for 60 minutes. When we're on offense, you can take a big time break. I mean, cheer whenever we do something good, but it should be crickets. All right. Okay. Yeah. I understood. I understood what you meant, bro. But yeah, man. Hey, look, fans got to step up. Everybody has to step up. But I did just want to go through that and just give y'all like a look at some of the things that teams have done well versus Oklahoma's defense. It does correlate to what we talked about in the video earlier today. If y'all missed that, please go back and check it out. And with all that being said, man, I got some more breaking down to do and get the video out for Tuesday, where we're going to be breaking down Tennessee's defense versus Oklahoma's offense. And, I think that so far, from what I've seen, people might be shocked. But with all that being said, y'all please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we will be talking to y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Peace.